This is ALCHEMY'S English Language Testing Systems. In our earlier class, we were trying to know about collective nouns, and we had already discussed about so many collective nouns, and these collective nouns may be useful and they increase your vocabulary also. The vocabulary, increasing of vocabulary is also important. So you add a word, new word to your vocabulary. So the last word was collective nouns was clack, and just I will repeat it. It was CLAQUE, pronounced as clack. Clack means a group of hired applauders, like in a meeting or anything. The leaders, they bring some clerk from the nearby villages, they come there, they clap and they give certain slogans. All this which is done by payment to those people, they are known as clerk. Okay, that was the last one. Now the next one is a group of constables called to enforce law. A group of constables called to enforce law. Some cricket match is there, or some VIP is coming, some minister is coming. So there might be lot of rush, lot of people gathering. So we call for a group of constables to maintain that law and order, and that group is known as POSSE, posse. A posse of uh, law enforcement people have arrived. Like that we can say a posse, POSSE. And the next one is a number of jurymen engaged in a case. A number of jurymen engaged in a case. We can call it jury panel also. Jury panel. The other one is a number of more than two judges. Like certain cases there, 2, 3, 4 judges from the Supreme Court, they'll sit down and decide over the case. That particular group of judges, or those number of judges, we call them bench of judges. Okay, a number of directors of a company. It is always board of directors. Okay, and then a collection of poems. Like somebody interested in collecting some good stamps, somebody is interested in collecting coins, somebody who is interested in literature, he may collect poems also, and such a collection is known as anthology. ANTHOLOGY. It is anthology. Okay. Next is a collection of books. Everybody knows that. Anyway, just to remind you, collection of books is a library. And then a number of pictures, curiosities, etc. A number of pictures, curiosities, etc. Curiosities means very old things, and they are vintage sort of things could be. So those come under the curiosities. Okay, CUROSITIES, and that we call it collection only. Like you go to a place, to a hall where they had put lot of an exhibition, like, and in that lot of paintings are there, different types of portraits, paintings, landscapes. We can call it collection. The collection there of the paintings was wonderful. We can use that word collection. Okay, and then a collection of pearls. I think we all know pearls. We use for necklaces and other jewelries. So that collection of pearls is known as rope of pearls. Okay, and then collection of flowers, we all know it is a bouquet, BOUQUET, and T is silent. It is bouquet, collection of flowers. And then a collection of flags, like certain parties, they have their own flag, and when they have a meeting, the whole city, the towns are, decorated with those flags. So that collection of flags is known as bunting. bunting, bunting of flags. Okay, and then a number of drawers. It's a chest. A number of drawers. A number of ships. Fleet of ships. Okay, fleet. And then a number of merchant ships, protected by warships. Some important cargo is moving from one country to another on some agreement basis, and it may be pirated on the mid sea. So there is a protection also given to such cargo, such ships, and a number, that is what I mean to say, a number of merchant ships protected by warships. It is known as convoy. 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 And a collection of dried plants. They make even flower vases of dried plants. Okay? Like wood rose is there. When it dries, it is made as a collection, and then a lot of such dried plants, dried flowers. So such collection, what you call it, we may call it herbarium. And then a number of nuts, grapes on a bunch. It's a cluster. A number of nuts, grapes on a bunch, a cluster. A number of trees. We generally go for a picnic and all. We search for a nice place where there are few number of trees and shade is there. So those trees, few number of trees together is known as clump. CLUMP, clump of trees. Okay, and a bigger way, lot of trees and lot of things, that's a forest. Okay, but here we can call it a clump of trees. And then the other one is a large collection of trees is forest. As I told you, a large collection of trees is forest. A collection of wood, hay, corn piled together, stack. Wood, hay, corn piled together in a heap. It is stack. STACK, stack. And then a cluster of houses in a village. A cluster of houses. Cluster is always close by. Cluster of stars. You can find that in the galaxy, the Milky Way. Cluster of stars. Thousands, millions of cluster of stars. So cluster means also a group, like, okay. So a cluster of houses in a village. A cluster of houses in a village is a hamlet. HAMLET, hamlet. And then a number of stars grouped together. A number of stars grouped together. Constellation. Like in हिंदी में कहते हैं सप्तऋषि के नक्षत्र जो होते हैं, it's something like a hockey stick. In the sky we find it, and that particular number of stars together having a particular image, that's known as a constellation. CONSTELLATION, constellation of stars. And a collection of rays, like in certain theaters, different focusing is done with different rays. It is pencil of rays, PENCIL, pencil. A collection of eggs, like we go to a market and buy a dozen eggs. He packs it in some small carry bag. You may say a clutch of eggs. What is that? Clutch, CLUTCH, clutch of eggs. I was riding my bike with the clutch of eggs, and suddenly when I applied a brake, the eggs all broke. That's clutch of eggs. All the clutch of eggs broke. So clutch of eggs you can use whenever it is with context reference to eggs. Clutch of eggs. A set or number of furniture in a room. A set of number of furniture in a room. Like in hotels you find rooms. Some say SUI